Hello and welcome back to an all new episode of TM Talk. I am Professor Tommy, and I am joined, as always, with my friend and co host, Professor Ashley. And we are in full celebration of Pokemon Day, Pokemon's 30th anniversary that happened just this weekend. And such a lot of exciting stuff to talk about there with a lot of news from Pokemon. They really did a Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day and just gave us a whole bunch of stuff to look forward to, some news, some events, and of course, all those teasers that are keeping us on the edge of our seat for the rest of the year. So yeah, it should be awesome to talk about that. We have a Professor's Lounge for you as well, where we're going to talk about Pokemon checkup and status conditions. It's a very common question we receive as professors when we play the TCG, so definitely going to give some insights to that. And of course, we're going to play Guess the TM today. But before we get into all of that, Ashley, how you been doing?
I have been doing pretty good. We just had our Pokemon Day celebrations this weekend. Yay! It was a lot of fun. We had a good turnout. Super fun tournament. We combined it with our challenge, and we had some people come out that don't usually come out for our league, which was really cool to see. Aside from that, I've been working on I have found some Ascended Heroes, and I've been working on trying to get a master set together, and I finally got my binder in. And this thing is humongous.
That thing
So
is like half of your body size. Like, what is
it literally is like half my body size. It is huge. It holds 1,024 cards. So it's the 4x4 binder, and I'm excited. I'm gonna start putting that together tomorrow. I got some more cards from my brother because we did a trade, so hopefully I can add some new cards to it and have more of my set done. So that's pretty much what I've been doing the past week and a half. What about you?
Oh, well, I have been very busy with work, but still trying to find the time to do some Pokemon stuff. I'm trying to lock in for Houston as well. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast or not, but I've been really up in the air about what deck I'm going to play for Houston. I'm just not really excited about this format. It's just stale. Like, I'm ready for some new cards. So luckily, Houston does involve those Ascended Heroes cards that Ashley's trying to collect, this massive master set that she's going to have to collect here. But so with that, I was playing some challenges. I played in a challenge. I played in a cup. Ashley also played in a cup. And I'm happy to report that both of us made top 4 in our respected cups that we played in. So congratulations, Ashley, on that.
Congratulations, Tommy, on yours.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And then just on our Pokemon Day celebration, we had a challenge. I came in second on that one too with a record of 3-1. Really excited about that one too because it wasn't a great start to the tournament. I got donked on the very first round. So I was like, well, here we go for a long one. But it turned around and it was a good time had by all. A lot of fun times. So it's just prepping for this Pokemon Day the celebration event that we had this weekend. And then I did a turn and burn today, drive up to Kansas to get some chicken feed and come back. So had a lot of time to digest some of my podcasts I haven't been able to listen to in a while, and then catch some of the day 2 stuff going on at Seattle. So a lot of fun stuff going on there. So, but yeah, just trying to like prep for Houston. I know you've been doing the same, right? You're trying to lock in with a deck and things like that. So how has your preparations for Houston been going, Ashley?
So, before I played in this cup, I think it was like last weekend, the weekend before, I don't know, within the last 2 weeks. I still had no idea what I was going to play for Houston. But the week of the cup, I picked this deck on Tuesday. Now, I know on a past episode, I had said before we really got to know this deck that I was like, oh, I don't know about this deck. And it was the Absol box. Well, I decided that I wanted to play something different. I didn't want to play Gardevoir. There's so many dark decks out right now, especially where we live. And I wanted to play something different. So I decided to pick up Absol box because it was something new. I was going to a cup and I was like, let's just try something new. And I've got about 5 practice matches with it, and then played in a cup on Saturday and placed 4th out of like 27 people, I think is how many it was. So I did pretty good. And after that, I was like, I'm locking in with Absol Box for Houston. So that is my deck choice. I'm pretty comfortable with the 60 that I'm playing right now, but I may tweak it. I don't know. We're going to see how it feels after Ascended Heroes is legal. And then after that, then I'll for sure decide. But I think you're kind of considering playing the same thing as me, aren't you?
I am. So, seeing how well you did with it, I've been looking at Absol Box for a while. As you know, on the podcast, I talked about it. Had nothing but praise for it. But I just never pulled the trigger, put the cards together, and actually played it. So after EUIC, I saw how well it did with, of course, winning the entire event, but then also a lot of top placements in it. And I spoke to a good friend of ours, Jesper Erickson, and asked him, like, hey, what do you think about, I said, here's your prepper for EUIC when you thought you're going to be playing with these cards. Now that, EIC is come and gone, that's going to be the format for Houston. So what were you looking at? And he said, you know what, man, I think Box looks pretty good, may give you the best options all around to kind of make a good run in the tournament. So we looked at Lucas Zing's Box. He placed 8th at EUIC. It's more of a control style deck, plays 2 Evatals and plays the Genesect, things like that. So interesting all around. It's definitely something to get used to. It's not really like what I've played in the past, like the same play style, but definitely I can see where it comes in. I like the big basics. I like doing the Turbo Energize. Precious Trolley feels so cool that you're just like, yep, here's all my Pokemon. I'm done. I don't need any nest balls. What is this? And then to Turbo Energize and do the Claw of Darkness, discard a card from your opponent's hand, and then also being able to hit a terminal period is pretty cool as well. So really cool attacks. And then I love just rolling dice and flipping coins. So, the rapid fire combo is definitely an attack I love to do. So I've been having fun with the deck so far. So pretty much I'm practicing with that one a lot. I'm still looking at a couple others. N Zoroark is really up there too with the new N Zekrom. In there, it looks really cool. I've liked the deck for a long time. I've been trying to play it. It hasn't felt that powerful, but it's been doing great. Like Liam Halliburton, Christian Labella has been playing that deck and been doing great at tournaments and regionals. So worldwide. I think Liam just got a top 4 at EUIC as well with it. So those are the ones I'm looking at. I'm still up in the air. I'm a Charizard guy. I like playing dark decks, right? So I think Box or Zoroark might be one of the ones I go with. If not, then Old Faithful. I might just run Donzard and just go for it. Just go turbo and try to figure out what's going to go on there. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I would not mind running the same 60 as you, Ashley, so we can practice together and put on the podcast, see how well we do together. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I'm using Edwin's EUIC winning list right now, and it feels like, honestly, it feels really consistent. And it sets up pretty well. I can't tell you, like, out of all the games that I played at the Cup, I think I only didn't hit Trolley like a couple of the games. And even in like 1 or 2 of the games where I was forced to go first, I still had Trolley. Like, I opened Trolley and they were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And it was so funny. I can't tell you how many times I heard Absol just always has it. Always has it.
That's right. That is something that seems to happen. For me, playing the control style, just to give you an insight, I think I either feel like I prize something very important. Like I either prize I only play 2 Monkey Dories in that deck. I usually prize one. And there was a game where I prized both, which did not feel great. And then when I got donked, I really had nothing. Like I had to go first. But I had no way to get any other Pokemon out whatsoever. And I was just drawing a card for 2 turns and then got donked because I couldn't get anything else. I started off with Petron. And then the final game of my challenge, I prized Precious Trolley. And it's against a Joltik box deck. And so I was like, okay, well, here we go, right? But luckily enough, it worked out in my favor that I was able to find nest ball like organically or through Arvin or something like that, be able to bring out Mega Kangaskhan, and kind of play around with, and I also started Blood Moon too. So luckily Penny showed up for me big time there. So appreciate that, and a little luck on my side with their last prize card being Blood Moon or Saluna. So really helped me out with being able to chain together a couple knockouts and get there before they could take that last one. So all in all, it feels really good. I think I rather go with a more consistent style than the control. It's not in my wheelhouse. I've been playing it, and I like doing the clutch play and kind of holding back has got me a lot of wins, of course, and like being able to build up my own damage counters with the poison from Petrant, and then be able to use that for terminal period and kind of step some other plays is pretty cool. I just probably have to get more in depth with the matchups and figure out exactly what needs to go. But I would not mind playing like a more consistent style, maybe 3 monkeys, 1 Yveltal, maybe drop the Genesect. I have 2 Erica's invitations and I want to play them. I think when they works out, it's so cool, right? Like you're like, yeah, give me that one, clutch. I'm stalling you out, but haven't had a lot of chances to play with it, or at least be able to play the Erica. I always need like the Arvin or the boss or another supporter more. But the one time I did play it, I whiffed on the Erica, so I was like, well, thanks a lot, and I almost threw her across the room. But no, she stayed in my discard pile. I was like, maybe next time. But
Maybe next time.
yeah, so it's been fun though. But like I definitely, I mean, it's creeping up right now. I mean, we are recording this on the 1st of March, and Houston is the 21st, right? Yeah, so we have about 20 days, give or take, to figure this all out. Plenty of time.
We got plenty of time. We got this.
That's right.
You just got to lock in.
I got to lock in. I know. Definitely some more tournaments on the way. I'm going to try to at least squeeze in. I know we have our cup the weekend before Houston. And then before that, I don't know. I'm kind of busy that weekend. So that might be my next and final tournament before Houston. So we'll see how it goes from there.
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't think I personally will be able to play in any more tournaments until Houston. So I'm just going to I'm planning on getting my mind and my body in a good state and doing a lot of exercising and also getting in a lot of practice on live, or just like meeting up with you guys and getting a lot of practice in that way as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we definitely need to do that, right? I think that's a good way that we can practice and get together and kind of figure out the matchups as we go about it. Azul Gigi always talks about how if you're going to go with a group, you guys should all play the same deck. That way, when you are practicing, you can maximize your practicing potential, because everybody's like getting ready for all the same decks, but you guys can play the different matchups and like, okay, what should I do here? What should we do here? And stuff like that. So, it would be cool if we end up playing the same deck and we can kind of do that. I want to do that, practice those matchups with you and stuff like that, so we can figure that out and all that kind of cool stuff. So I think that'd be really cool to do that. And then maybe, who knows, maybe we'll catch on. The rest of our group will join in lockstep with us, and we all go down there with Mega Absol, make it the number 1 deck on day 1.
That'd be crazy. And like even just practicing with the people from your groups help a lot. Like I haven't had a whole lot of practice with that deck, but even practicing with one of our locals, one of the kiddos the other day, I was playing against them because they were playing Dragon Ball, and they thought of something that I didn't even think about. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that I didn't even think about that. So it just goes to show you, like, if you get together, you can come up with different ways to approach things and matchups. And I think that is definitely going to help me, because now I have another way to take a 2-prizer thanks to him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be cool. You got to tell me the secret. Tell me the sauce.
Latios is weak to dark.
Yes.
That's literally all it was. I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, all I needed was 2 prizes, and I was trying to go about it like moving my Monkey Dory and then getting another Monkey Dory and powering that up to move another 60. And then I was like, they were like, wait, why didn't you just do this? And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't think of that. It was like I was going about it way too much.
A cool move I like to do is when I do Claw of Darkness and I don't take a knockout. Like, let's say I do a Claw of Darkness on a Fez, or like on even on like a 230, 240 HP Pokemon, uh, around that like 230 HP Pokemon, right? And they do have a Latios on deck. So I do the Claw of Darkness. I discard one of their, preferably you like to Iono Claw of Darkness and then, Iono them to a small hand and then do that. But anyway, just being able to Claw of Darkness them, and then when they try to hit me back, if they can't knock me out, using the monkey, take the 2 prize card, make them bring something else up, and then and then I can either penny. I could penny one of the monkeys, bring it back up. So I use like 3 monkeys in one turn and try to get the terminal period that way, or maybe just build up enough damage to do another Claw of Darkness to get another knockout and stuff like that. So it's cool. I mean, there's a lot of lines with it. It's very I can see why people say it's a high ceiling. It's a very high skilled deck. There's a lot of different ins and outs to it, and then especially the way you play it too. So I'm excited for it. It should be cool. But what I'm also excited for, what I was excited for was February 27th was Pokemon Day. And we had, they actually did a Pokemon Presents, which if you've never seen one of those or heard of that before, the Pokemon company puts together a video package of all their updates that they have coming up for everything around the Pokemon company. So all their games, all the news, animes, everything you think about that involves Pokemon whatsoever, they talk about all of that stuff. And so this year being the 30th anniversary, as we've been saying on this podcast for a while now, we definitely were like, we want news about the 30th anniversary stuff. Stop teasing us. We got the Super Bowl commercial, which gave us quite literally almost nothing, which was just, the branding of their 30th anniversary, which is what's your favorite, which is cool. And then they gave out, like they started doing all these news releases, and they've actually done the social media icons, and they've released an icon of every single Pokemon discovered in Pokemon so far with the 30th symbol change, with the color scheme of that Pokemon, so on and so forth. So I changed my X profile to Darkrai. I know a couple other people changed their profile to their favorite Pokemons as well, and hashtagging Pokemon 30 on there. But really, we haven't had anything concrete as far as like what's coming out this year. So this Pokemon Presents was a big one. I believe the video itself was about like a little bit over, it was like 25 minutes, something like that. Yeah, like a little bit over 20 minutes. And it gave us a lot of news. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of give you a quick rundown of everything that was in that video. So it's pretty cool, but I'll go ahead and share with you all. And if this podcast episode is not in video, I am sorry. But I will, I am screen sharing the news that we got from the Pokemon Presents on the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. And there's a lot of stuff. They talked about Pokemon 10th Gen, which is Pokemon Winds and Waves, Pokemon Champions, Pokemon Pokopia, the release of Pokemon Fire Red version and Pokemon Leaf Green version, the re-release of that on the Switch, Pokemon XD, that's going to be released on GameCube, and also a whole bunch of stuff about Pokemon ZA. We had some stuff for Pocket, the Course of Trading Card Game, Go, Unite, Master ZX, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Cafe, on and on and on, right? So first things first, we were super excited. It's at the very end of the video, but they talk about Pokemon Winds and Waves, which is going to be the 10th gen of Pokemon. And we got a cool look into the starters or the partner Pokemon of that 10th gen. So Ashley, what were your thoughts on those starters that we saw?
We have 3 new starters. The grass starter is called Sprout. It looks like a little sprout and owl mixed together. He looks very, very angry. And then we have the new fire starter, which is called Pombon, which looks like a super cute, happy little fire puppy. And then we have Gekwa, which is the water starter, which looks like a really cool water gecko. I'm excited. The game looks really, really cool. And you're going to be like, you get to ride around on like a hoverboard. So that's going to be something really, really cool. And I don't know about the rest of you. If you have or have not heard about this, But I am going to pick Gekwa whenever this comes out because one, I love water Pokemon, and I also love geckos. I used to have a fat-tailed leopard gecko whenever I was a kid, so it just makes sense. So, Tommy, which starter out of these three would you pick?
I think I would also pick the water starter. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name just yet because you know how I am with names. I'm going to butcher that thing. But I think that one's the coolest one. There immediately the memes came out after the Pokemon came out, right? So everybody was comparing the grass starter to the Duolingo bird, and then Pombon. It looks like a Pomeranian. But I mean, they look awesome. I think they look pretty cool. I like the designs. I'm definitely excited to see how this game plays because we're going back to the RPG style, right? This is not like the Pokemon Legends ZA, but it is going to be open world. From what we're understanding, it's going to be exclusive to Switch 2. And we also got to see a pair of special Pikachus with brand new looks as well. One for winds, one for waves, of course. And so it's kind of cool because it's going to be an open world of windswept islands and an ocean of glittering waves. So pretty interested to see how this is going to play out. Want to see some more of gameplay or maybe just some taking us around to some different cities because it looks like I don't know if they're going to incorporate the water into like your battles or how that works, but I'm really interested to see how this plays out because I'm super excited. I like them. I like the new starters. I think they look really cool. I'm excited to see their evolutions. I want to see what they look like and all that. So this one looks pretty awesome. Excited for this one for sure.
From what some people like from the footage that they showed us and what some people are speculating is that we're going to be able to like actually dive into the ocean, which would be really really cool if you could like somehow go in there and like catch Pokemon underwater. That would be super super cool. So we're gonna
that you're gonna get eaten by a Gyarados or a Sharknado. No way.
Yeah. But I don't remember if we actually said like when this is actually going to release, but they're speculating it to be released in 2027.
Yes.
Is what they're hoping for.
Yep. That's the date they have right now is 2027. I think that would be cool. I think that'd be a cool mechanic to be able to go underneath or go into the ocean, dive into the ocean, and see like the water Pokemon actually like living out their life in the water. Because every time we've had water in a game, they've kind of like just floated on top, right? Or swam up top, and like that's about it. Like it reminds me of Scarlet and Violet, of course, like where you go to the beach or the waves, and Gyarados is like on the shore at the beach. I'm like, this guy would not be here right now. Like he would be drowning. I don't know. Like I don't know what or like not drowning, but the opposite of drowning since he's like out of the water on top of the land almost. I'm like, what is happening right now? But I don't know. I wonder how they're going to play that out. Still a lot of questions to be answered here with Winds and Waves, but super exciting nonetheless to see some of the little sneak peeks that we did. So cool with that. Yeah. And something I know that you're excited about, Ashley, Pokemon Champions. We got some news about
Pokemon Champions.
We got some news about Pokemon Champions. It's set to launch on Nintendo Switch in April of 2026. You can download the game early, and you'll receive a Dragonite in their in-game mailbox. So that's pretty cool. And there'll also be a special campaign where players can obtain Mega Stones for Pokemon that Mega Evolve in Pokemon Legends ZA. So there's a lot of things about regarding home connectivity and how it affects trained Pokemon. And helpful characters in-game can be found on the official Pokemon Champions website. So what do you think about Pokemon Champions? Are you excited for this? Yeah.
I am super excited about it. I kind of watched just a little bit of this. I still need to go back and watch like the whole thing, like sitting down and actually focusing on it. But it looks super, super cool. And I'm excited to see how it's actually going to play out and how the battles are going to play out too. Like the VG community has been talking about this for a long time and they're like, oh, this is exactly what we've been hoping for like a long time. So I'm excited to see if it actually holds up to everybody's expectations of what it should be and what they were hoping for. But I'm excited, especially since it comes out in April. And then later, I think they said later on in the year, it's going to come out on mobile as well.
I was gonna say, yeah, and we saw that in the preview that they gave us, that somebody was playing on the Switch, somebody was playing on their phone. They will do that. I think it's really cool. I mean, I've been out of the video game loop for quite a while. I just got back into it with Violet, and even then, I'm not really like in the scene, as they say. But like, so Pokemon Home is really new to me too. But it like this looks pretty cool because I think the biggest, at least for me, from what I can understand and what I've seen, the biggest like drawback of playing the video game is that you have to grind so much to find these perfect Pokemon in the game to play, to be competitive with, and things like that. Where Pokemon Home and Pokemon Champions gives you the ability to be like, hey, I found the perfect X Pokemon on Scarlet and Violet. Let me bring that over to my Pokemon Home. I can drop that into Champions, right? Oh, I found the perfect Pokemon. I found my perfect Gyarados, in Let's Go Pikachu, maybe. And like you can bring that into Pokemon Home and then use that in a champion. That's what it looked like to me, is that your Pokemon Home becomes like this hub of where you can bring all these different Pokemon from different games and be able to bring your absolute best team to come compete in champions. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen here. That's what's going to look like. I don't know the validity or I don't know if I say validity, but like the features and functionalities around making sure that Pokemon aren't being like tampered with or modded outside of the game source. I don't know how they're going to monitor that or regulate that. But definitely, I think the idea, the concept is awesome. Because I would hate to grind so much to try to find a Pokemon. Like they release Wind and Waves, and I'm like, okay, well, now I'm gonna have to go and grind and get all these Pokemon and try to level them up and power them up when I already have these Pokemon already powered and leveled up from my previous games. Bring them in champions, be more prepared, and then still be able to enjoy Winds and Waves for the new Pokemon and things like that. So, what are your thoughts on all that, Ashley?
It's definitely going to take a lot of the time out of having to do so much grinding to make the perfect Pokemon. Because if I remember correctly, I think you're supposed to be able to change the stats on Pokemon Champions too. So it's going to be for those of you who know what Pokemon Showdown is, it's supposed to be kind of like the more official kind of like Pokemon Showdown, where you can change your stats and make that perfect Pokemon as well. So it'll definitely take a lot more time out of that to where people can actually just focus on like their techniques and their approaches to different matches and teams.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm interested to see if like maybe Champions makes everybody boosted. Like, okay, this is a max level of a Gardevoir for like this tournament, right? Like we could say like how Pokemon Go does it, and they say, okay, in the league your CP is 1500 or less, right? So I don't know if they're going to have the same thing with Pokemon Champions and say like, hey, look, these two Goldangos, you've caught a Goldango, it's not max at where it should be. You bring it over to the champions to compete, we're gonna bump it to max, right? Like you said, there's a way that it could affect trained Pokemon, their stats and things like that. So I wonder if that will ease up and make it more accessible to people to compete in Pokemon VG and make it more about the strategy, like you're talking about the strategy of the different moves you have, how you combine these Pokemon together instead of trying to grind. And I know there's like a lot of quote unquote different ways to get these awesome maxed out Pokemon. So maybe they'll take all that stress off of the competitors and really make it more about, like you said, the strategy, the gameplay of it and stuff like that. So, yeah, a lot of expectations on Pokemon Champions. Hopefully it's really good. Hopefully it's a move in the right direction for the VG community and not something they're going to not like later down the road. All right, bread and butter, Pokemon TCG. So I think this is the one I was like, oh, okay, here we go, Pokemon TCG. Here's the part they're going to talk about. And they showed a lot of different Pokemon cards from throughout the history of the TCG. And then we got these, what you're seeing on the screen right now is these like metallic looking Mew and Mewtwo. And they have a whole bunch of the different energies behind them. And we got nothing more than that. But no, we do know that this is going to be a 30-year celebration set release 4 Pokemon this year that will release simultaneously worldwide, which has, from my knowledge, never been done before. So really excited to see this, that I like we'll get the same cards at the same time that Japan does. And it kind of, I don't want to like go down the rabbit hole, put on my tin foil hat and be like, oh, okay, this is how they're going to change Pokemon. And so now it's not going to be us and Japan will be in the same format at the same time now. They're going to like reset the whole timeline, and we can, like where there's no more Japan's ahead of us. And then, all the kind of stuff. Like now we're going to release simultaneously all throughout. I don't want to say that. That'd be pretty cool if that would happen. I know there's a lot of people that wish that would happen. It just makes it a lot easier across the board, right? So that way, because more and more Japanese players are coming to worldwide events, especially in Australia, in Europe, and in North America too. And so they have to like go back 3 months and play in a format they haven't played in for that time, right? Like they have to go back in their mentality and go, okay, 3 months ago, Raging Bolt was actually pretty good. So let me look at this and maybe say these matchups. I don't know. Maybe I went too far off the rails on that one, but we do know, once again, the exciting. We have some Mew and Mewtwo here in a really different kind of light. It's not a shiny version. At least it doesn't look like it to me. It's more of like a metallic version. So I don't know what that's going to mean for them. You can see all the different energies behind them. So who knows what that's going to mean and what kind of Pokemon type this is going to be. But definitely this cool thing is that simultaneous release to all the participating markets. So wondering what that means, what that's going to look like. What are your thoughts on this, Ashley?
I'm excited to see what they come up with. I know I've seen some people talk about how they're hoping that it's not like how they did with the 25th anniversary and just slap a logo on some old cards. So it'll be interesting if they do that. I liked in the video that they had, like that they showcased cards throughout the different years, like the EXs, the tag teams, the cards that you put two together and they make one big picture. And it was kind of cool to see the 30 years of just the development of the TCG cards in just like a couple minutes. Because you just kind of it's kind of like a blast from the past. You just got to see everything all at once, which was really cool. So it'll be interesting to see if they kind of just do something throughout all of the years and throw a logo on there, or if they're going to come up with something like completely new, kind of like how we have new sets and they just do everything just crazy and go all out for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to try to get more information on this. I mean, like I said, you heard me go on my little rant for a little bit there of like just already contemplating and trying to guess what they're going to come out with on this thing. Definitely they could be just celebratory cards, right? Of like the old styles of the old mechanics that are out there. But a lot of those old mechanics are coming back. We've gotten EXs again. We've gotten a lot of cards that were released previously and now they're back. Black and White did that, where they brought back a lot of cards from the original Black and White sets and things like that. So interested to see what happens here. The biggest thing that I don't know if regret's the right word, but like I came in after tag teams was already done, and I thought that was like a super cool. When I saw those cards and like all the different team ups they had, I was like, man, that looks super cool and super awesome. I wish I could have played in that format to see how that actually worked. I know ADP is like the card to have in tag teams, and maybe that ruined the tag team format for a lot of people who did play in that. But I just thought that's a really cool concept to be able to put two Pokemon together. Sometimes they're of the same type, sometimes they're not of the same type. I think that's what made it really special and a cool mechanic to have all around, because then you could really kind of innovate with your deck building, right? And get two types of Pokemon together in there. You have to get two types of energies and things like that. So really cool. Hoping that this is going to be a cool set. And something fun for everybody, the collectors, for the players, all that kind of stuff. All right, moving on. This is something that I've heard about, but I have not really kept up on. Pokemon Pokopia, which it seems to me is like a different style of RPG for Pokemon, but you're actually playing as a Ditto who's pretending to be a human and can interact with all these different Pokemon and stuff like that going on. So I don't know if it, I don't think, it definitely does not look like, nor do I believe it's going to be like the normal Pokemon games that you're used to, where you're going around trying to be the very best like no one ever was. I think this is more about enjoying the life of Ditto being a human and may see how much he can involve his friends in some hijinks and mischief in the real world and stuff like that. So this game's going to come out in March 5th, I believe. And then we got some on the Pokemon Presents. They showed us specifically DJ Rotom is out there, so you can play some music and get some Pokemon friends dancing and stuff like that. So it should be a fun game for like the kids and families to join it, to enjoy together, enjoy some Pokemon in a different aspect, in a different way, and definitely just enjoy your favorite Pokemon in a video game like that. What are your thoughts on this one, Ashley?
To put it kind of like in simple terms, the biggest thing about Pokemon is community, and that's kind of what Pokepia is going to be about. It's just the Ditto trying to build its own community, and learning how to build it from the ground up. Like it's kind of, some people have said it's going to be kind of like Minecraft in a sense, and then also kind of like Animal Crossing in a sense, if you played either one of those games. I haven't really played either one of those, but you're going to be able to build and work on your community of Pokemon and learn skills from the other Pokemon. Just like the special ingredient that's going to be in it, it's going to teach you how to cook. So it'll definitely be a super fun game to play. I definitely want to try and get it. I don't have a Nintendo Switch 2 yet, so I will not be able to play it until that happens. But eventually I will get it. But I'm sure we're going to see lots of playthroughs of people who are actually going to get it. So, I mean, I think it's still going to be a really cool game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Like an Animal Crossing aspect to Pokemon. I did remember seeing like you do like build your town up, and so of course I think as you build it, you attract more Pokemon who want to come to it, and then like you said, you learn the skills from the Pokemon to be able to better your town, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see if there is a like online aspect to it, so like where maybe you can visit each other's towns and things like that. And so yeah, like you said, it's a different way to enjoy Pokemon. And if you are not a competitor in the video games and things like that, and you just want to have fun with Pokemon and play a cool, different type of game, this definitely seems like it for you. So I think it's cool all around. I'm gonna see. I also do not have a Switch 2. I have been thinking about getting one for a while though, and we've always, me and my family have always enjoyed the games that Pokemon puts out, like the Pokemon Snap is a super cool game that we love playing. We all take turns playing that and trying to figure out what Pokemons we can find and the better pictures. And then that game on the Switch just kept opening new levels and new levels and new levels and new areas. And so it's super cool. Really got us involved in that aspect, and definitely replayability is there. So hoping the same for Pokemon Pokopia. Definitely may pick this one up and even let baby Caitlin take a try and play with some Pokemon. So very cool to see that. And then there was news about Pokemon XP in 2026 Pokemon World Championship. A little bit more than what we got before. We definitely knew from the World Championship last year when they announced Pokemon XP, there's going to be some kind of fan experience that we were going to get in coinciding with the World Championship. So now we know that Pokemon Global Esports and Events Director Chris Brown confirmed that competitors in the video game World Championships will battle in Pokemon Champions. Their fellow competitors will battle in the Pokemon trading card game, Go, and Unite. All finals matches will be held at the Chase Center, an area that's 3 times the size of the venue when the 2025 World Championship Finals took place. Over 3,000 players will battle in San Francisco this August to become the next world's champion. Additionally, the inaugural Pokemon XP will take place alongside Worlds at the Moscone Center. Fans of all ages can expect fun activities, including interactive exhibits, pin trading, cosplay showcases, unique panels, hands-on workshops, and an on-site Pokemon Center store, and exciting partner collaborations, something for everyone. And of course, to celebrate this new experience, what they decided to do was a special art piece illustrates the debut of Pokemon XP alongside the highly anticipated World's Championship. So we have two different Pikachus here. Pikachu World Champion is with a crown shooting out some electricity at people. We got Greninja, we got some Ultra Balls, and then we have our Space Explorer Pikachu, I think it looks like, right? Sending some people into space with him, Jirachi and Charizard and all that. So saying that's going to be simultaneous between the two, so that's pretty cool. Multi-day pass interest lists will open to fans on April 2nd and close on April 23rd, with single-day passes coming early this summer. So, of course, visit the official Pokemon XP site and the official Pokemon World Championship site to learn more about these incredible events. So, definitely looks pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff they had talked about in there. Like we already said that, of course, the video game is going to be held with Pokemon Champions. So, coming out in April and then coming out and then in August being used the World Championship. So, pretty I think enough time to get used to it, to see what's going on with it, and to experience that. But still a lot of mystery around what exactly Pokemon XP is going to entail. You can definitely buy tickets for it. It's going to be a cool multi-day exhibit. It sounds like, there's always a Pokemon Center at IC. I would imagine there's always a Pokemon Center at Worlds. So to be fair, to make it sound like, oh, that's part of Pokemon XP. Okay, well, you already did that. So I want to know what's new, right? And what's going on. But I'm sure like there's gonna be a lot of cool photography stuff, like, statues and interactions of different Pokemon together and stuff like that. So definitely, like they said, something for everyone to enjoy at that time. So really looking forward to seeing what that is all about. Ashley, are you going to try to get a multi-day pass to Pokemon XP?
I am 100% going to try and get a multi-day pass. I purposely took my vacation this year from work the week of the World Championships. So that way, if I am able to go as a spectator or even as a competitor, that I will have that entire week to actually go there and hang out and like report more on stuff that I did. Like last year, I got to go and be a spectator at Worlds, and it was such a fun experience, but I wish I would have had just a little bit more time. So for this year, I would love to spend a lot more time there and be able to explore more than I already did. And this one, with the new Pokemon XP alongside the World Championships, it sounds like it's going to be an exciting and exhilarating experience, and I'm super, super pumped for it. So I definitely want to try and go. Are you going to try and go at all? Or at least watch it?
I'll definitely watch for sure. I think getting, 5 passes or however many passes I'm going to need at that time to take my whole family with me, maybe a little bit out of the cards, unless I make it as a competitor. Then, I'll have some extra money in my pocket to be able to afford all that kind of stuff to get down to San Francisco. But I definitely want to watch it for sure and see what's going on. And we have to get you out there so you can report once again live on Pokemon at Pokemon World Championship for the podcast. So Big Pikachu, if you're listening, Ashley is going to be putting in for those multi-day interests. If you just want to find her and just give her those passes, that'd be great.
That would be amazing. I would love to have multi-day pass again.
Yeah. So let's make sure that happens. Okay. You don't want to fail the TM Talk podcast.
I will do everything in my power to go to the World Championships.
And so yeah, it should be pretty cool. World Championship should be fun for everyone. Moving on with the news, they re-released Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green versions on the Switch. So it's been 20 years since the release of Pokemon Fire Red version, Fire Leaf Green version, which are just revamped versions of red and green from Japan. But of course, we never got the green version in America until this release in 2004, because we got blue instead. So You can revisit the beautiful Kanto region with the release of these titles on the Nintendo Switch family of systems. The games return just as they were when they launched on Game Boy Advance, but now trainers can transfer Pokemon they catch into Pokemon Home. So everything you catch from the Kanto region in Fire Red and Leaf Green, you can move into Pokemon Home and maybe into Champions, so you can be able to bring your original team that beat the Elite Four, bring it to the World Championship, and show them once again why you are the very best, like no one ever was. So definitely super cool on that. They are, I believe what I've heard is that they are $20 each, as they were when they first came out. For those of you who still have a Game Boy Advance and have those games, you could just, Ashley does for sure, definitely dust that bad bear off, put that cartridge back in, and enjoy those games once again. And of course, there's other ways you can play those games as well. So it should be super exciting, super fun. I definitely want to. This makes me, though, the re-release of these games definitely makes me want to play these games again and go through it, like we've been talking about, especially with Guess the TM and things like that. There it is, Fire Red right there. Definitely makes me want to go back and play these games and enjoy, like try to recapture that first experience of playing Pokemon the very first time. Super fun. Always dunking on Gary. He was so great because he showed up early. So screw him. Showed him when I got my Gyarados. But neither here nor there. I don't hold any grudges against Gary. What about you, Ashley?
I'm definitely gonna try and play it. I would like to, since I technically already have Fire Red, and I do have a way to play that. I think if I buy it, I'm going to do the Leaf Green just to see what kind of difference there is. But I do like that they're going to be able to hook up to Pokemon Home, because being able to transfer Pokemon in between games is it's super, super nice.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, I'm out of the loop on it. So I don't know if you could maybe. I'm expecting that in Fire Red and Leaf Green in these versions, you can't transfer in like Garchomp Z into the Kanto region and start having him just run amok out there.
Definitely not.
But it would be cool, like from your other games, right? Like from Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, Scarlet and Violet, like the original Kanto. There are original Kanto versions in those games. You could probably, I'm just speculating that you could probably move them if you can link Fire Red and Leaf Green to Home. I wonder if you can transfer those original 151s to Leaf Green and Fire Red as well.
I would think that you should be able to, because like even with the Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Game Boy Advance, you could switch from like the different games. You could go back in time. If I remember correctly, that was the one that you could go back in time. But it cuts off certain Pokemon. Like it's instilled in the game that you can only have certain Pokemon. So if you try to transfer something in, it'll be like, oh, like, hey, we don't know this Pokemon, basically. So I would assume that these remakes are probably going to be just like that too.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, so that should be fun. Definitely reliving the nostalgia of Fire Red and Leaf Green, because these were actually probably some of the first games that a lot of people experienced in 2004. I mean, right now you think about it, if you were born at that time, you're now 22 years old, and maybe those are the first games that you played. Maybe when you were younger, those in your 30s and things like that. Maybe that was your version of Pokemon, where like my version of Batman is Michael Keaton, but maybe yours is Christian Bale. And so stuff like that. So it'd be cool to relive that stuff. Like I felt the same way with it with Pokemon Yellow came out, right? I played Pokemon Red and Blue when they first came out in 1996, and played those. And then when Yellow came out, I was like, oh, this is like the anime, right? You have Pikachu with you and stuff like that. But it was still fun to go through Kanto again and do all this kind of stuff. So that should be fun to do. And then also a game, like I told you, I was out of the loop for a while. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, that was originally on the Nintendo GameCube, is coming to Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics, on the Nintendo Switch as well. So you can pick that one up if you have the Nintendo GameCube. lack of a better term for me, but like ROM on the Switch. You know how you can get it online through Nintendo Switch. You can play all the Nintendo GameCube games that they have in their online library. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is coming to the online library for Nintendo GameCube. So this one should be really cool. It looks like it's only coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 system for the Nintendo Switch Online and Expansion Pack subscribers. So Nintendo Switch Online and Expansion Pack subscribers will be getting Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness in March. So you can revisit the Ore region and discover mysterious shadow Pokemon, square off against the insidious Cypher organization as you seek the truth about the legendary shadow Lugia. Along the way, go head-to-head against countless trainers and Pokemon that will challenge your battling skills. Note that you'll not be able to transfer Pokemon you have raised in the Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness game to other titles. In addition, you cannot transfer Pokemon you have raised in other games to Gale of Darkness. So it will not be linked to Pokemon Home. You cannot transfer to or from there, but definitely if you, once again, bringing back some nostalgia. If that was a game you played when you were younger, you want to play it again, you definitely have the chance now on Nintendo Switch 2 with the expansion pack subscribers. Ashley, this was a game that you played. Did you enjoy this one?
We did. We used to play this one. We also played Pokemon Coliseum on the GameCube too. And I believe that my youngest sister actually still has the GameCube with these games. So if I wanted to, I could play it. Since I don't have a Switch 2 yet, if I wanted to, I could just go over to her house and play it. But it was super fun. It's definitely a different take on Pokemon. But whenever I saw this or I listened to it in Pokemon Presents, I was excited because I was like, oh, cool, we can actually play this again. So it'll be super cool for those who want the nostalgia of playing this game again.
Yeah, for sure. As you mentioned, Pokemon Coliseum, right? The one game I wish they would bring back or maybe do a remake of is Pokemon Stadium. Now
Yes.
that was
Yes.
for the 64. You could plug in, you could plug in your Game Boy cartridge, and then you can bring your Pokemon to that stadium and to the Coliseum and battle with them in 3D. And also, do a lot of side games are always fun. That was really cool
Yes, the side
too.
games
So
made that game for sure.
yeah.
So,
So I know Pokemon Home and like it looks like Pokemon Champion's gonna be doing what Stadium did with that aspect of battling on there. But man, that game was so cool. I enjoyed that game a lot. So maybe they'll make something like that again. And then this one, I thought it was cool. Like I was like, oh, that's cool. Nothing that I would probably get myself, but I could definitely see the reason why people would want to get this. And if I had the money too, I probably would spend it on this as well. But it's just a Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue game music collection, Game Boy jukebox. So it's actually an audio player in the shape of a game of the original Game Boy, and then each of the original songs from Pokemon Red and Blue that released in 1998 for Game Boy. You could go ahead and actually, they have each cartridge for each song, and on the cartridge is like a like a scene from the game where you would hear this song. So you plug it in and it'll start playing that song for you. So definitely, if you want to get hyped, get your cartridge, get your Game Boy thing, attach it to your belt, put it in, and then go start your Pokemon journey. Put on your gloves, go out there, try to find your Blastoise and Charizard with these 45 cartridges that you can insert to listen to songs and sound effects. So definitely gonna be coming on the Pokemon Center. Actually, you were telling me that already this is sold out on the Pokemon Center. It hasn't even come out yet.
it is. It's already sold out. Like, I guess everybody saw the nostalgia in it, and they were like, "Oh, we got to buy it up." And unfortunately, just like with TCG nowadays, there have been a lot of resellers on eBay trying to mark this up. It happens, unfortunately. But when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." It's a jukebox, and you put the little cartridges in there, just like the little Game Boy, and then it'll play certain parts like the Route 1 or like a gym battle or something. So I was like, oh, that's actually kind of a cool little decoration that you could have in, like, if you had like a super cool setup Pokemon office or something. It'll definitely go good in that type of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely one of those things that's a cool accessory to have, and definitely one of those things that people, the collectors, are definitely gonna be looking for as well. So as you look through your cards, you can play your favorite Pokemon Red or Blue songs off on that. So it's pretty cool. Moving on to Pokemon TCG Pocket, something that you probably are very excited about is Paldean Wonders. So with Pocket is dealing out limited time missions and special rewards for Pokemon Day from Friday, February 27th to Friday, June 26th. You can log into Pokemon TCG Pocket to collect your rewards. You can also complete missions to receive accessories celebrating 30 years of Pokemon. Visit the in-game news for more information. And of course, Paldean Wonders, you're going to have your Paldean starters of Fuecoco, Sprigatito, and Quaxley in there, and their evolutions as well. And you got Goldango surfing in here, checking it out and stuff like that. So I have not touched Pocket in a while. Definitely this, but like all these new sets and expansions that come out, definitely wants me to pick it back up so I can go look at the different cards that come out, because they're super cool cards, and like the arts on Pocket are so different, and they're able to do so much more because it is all digital. Definitely really cool arts. I really like the immersive arts as well. As you can click into it, it has the scene with it and stuff like that. So looking forward to seeing what comes out with Paldean Wonders, what immersive art they would have and stuff like that. So are you excited about this one, Ashley?
So I was actually super excited about this because, if you don't know, I love Fuecoco, and I had honestly forgot that they were coming out with this set. And the set had been released for, I don't know, at least a few hours. And our friends from out of town were talking about it in a group chat. And I was like, oh, is that already out? And they said, where have you been? Everybody's been posting their screenshots of their cards. And I said, okay, hold on. I'll be right back. I got to go open 12 packs. So I opened my 2 free packs for the day. And then I paid for the 12 extra packs with my points that I had. And lo and behold, I pulled my Fuecoco within the first 12 packs. And
Oh
I said, guys,
yeah.
my chase is over. But then I realized what other cards they had in there. And then I was like, okay, no, I'm not done. But funny enough, uh, now, you know how they've had like such unique different arts and they have the immersive arts in Pokemon Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're starting to see card designs like we do in the actual TCG, like the Goldango card is in there. So now we have a Goldango EX that's just like that, but just like the
Mm.
attacks and stuff are different. There's a few other ones that were in there, like the Arvin, the Nomona. They're in there with the same arts. They're just different mechanics that are in the game. So if you go to play Pocket and then you go to play real TCG, make sure that you read your cards. But the immersive one for this set is a really beautiful Arvin and Mabostiff card. I haven't actually seen the immersive part because I'm trying to stay away from the spoilers for that, but it looks really, really cool.
That's super neat. And I know definitely as more and more people play Pocket, a lot of P's in that sentence. But as more people play Pocket, it's definitely becoming a more of a competitive aspect to that trading, to that version of the card game, right? To the Pokemon Pocket card game. It's super cool. It's a different way to play, definitely. But it's a great way to introduce yourself to the TCG game. But like as Ashley said, right, be careful because it is different from the actual IRL TCG game. So, but super cool nonetheless, and definitely find those chase cards that you want. It's cool that they're catching up to where we are currently with the gens and stuff like that. Like there it is. There's Arvin.
So that's like just an example of one art that we have like in the actual TCG game. But this one, this Arvin is flip a coin. If heads, put a random item card from your deck into your hand. If tails, put a random Pokemon tool card from your deck into your hand. So the mechanics are different. So like I said, just make sure if you're switching between the two, make sure you know which one you're playing and read your cards so you don't accidentally mess up.
Yeah, but that's cool though. It's pretty close. Like it's
Oh yeah.
same but different. It's same but different, right? So like flipping the coin and get either or instead of getting both like we do in the card game in real life. So pretty cool. Pokemon Go. I'm excited about this because in step with the 30th anniversary is the 10th anniversary of Pokemon Go. This is cool because to mark the momentous occasion, a huge range of Pokemon that have appeared in Pokemon Go will be appearing again all at once and for 3 days only from Saturday, March 7th to Monday, March 9th. So leading up to the special event, there will also be another event themed around the Kanto region from Tuesday, March 3rd to Friday, March 6th. And if that wasn't enough, a 2-day global Pokemon Go Tour Kalos global event will occur from Saturday, February 28th to Sunday, March 1st, which is today. So the global tour of Kalos was today for Pokemon Go. And then we have a Kanto region event starting right away from Tuesday all the way to Friday, March 3rd through the 6th, and then doing all the Pokemon appearing all at once for these 3 days only from Saturday, March 7th to March 9th. So that's pretty awesome. And they also gave you a promo code to receive one of the Kalos region's first partner Pokemon, Go Tour Kalos. Go ahead and enter that into the Pokemon Go web store to add the Pokemon to your collection. For more information on the coming events, visit, of course, Pokemon Go website. So that's pretty cool. I have not put this in yet, so I don't know what Kalos region first partner it is, but I will put that in after this podcast and then see what I get with that. So excited about that. Are you excited about Pokemon Go, Ashley, with this?
Yes, I'm excited. I didn't realize I guess I kind of did realize because when we were at the challenge, one of the kiddos said that they were having the Pokemon Go tour this weekend, and I caught a Pikachu with some kind of hat whenever we were doing our Pokemon Go tournament for the first one, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was going on. So it'll be interesting to see what other Pokemon, or if they have some cool designs, like they always have the special designs with like hats and sunglasses, or how they're going to come up with the rest of it for the rest of the week. I'm definitely going to be playing it.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be interesting to do. I need to find some time to open it up and get out to where I can find some Pokestops and from some gyms and take part of some of these raid battles and stuff like that. So it should be pretty cool. And then Pokemon Unite. So they're going to be releasing the original 3 legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. So that's pretty cool. Celebrate Pokemon Day. Join the fray, Pokemon Unite. This trio of legendary birds Pokemon will be soaring into battle as playable characters. You can get their Unite licenses by participating in a limited time event. And more Pokemon are scheduled to appear in Pokemon Unite. Keep checking the game for details. Also, an Electrode Volleyball World Tour is coming soon. Get more info at Pokemon Unite in-game. So that's cool. I still have not played Pokemon Unite yet. I want to. It looks really cool. I like MOBAs, but it's just I only have so much time for only so little Pokemon. So moving on from that as well is Pokemon Masters EX. This game as well, I've never really heard about it before until recently. Pokemon Masters EX, but it's holding a double anniversary this year because there's 6.5 years of Pokemon Masters EX. Interesting anniversary to celebrate, but hey, 6.5 years is pretty good. 3 exciting sync pairs are arriving soon in Pokemon Masters EX, bringing back classic favorites and showcasing recently discovered legendary Pokemon. Get back to your Kanto roots with Red and Pikachu, who will appear in this featured sync pair scout from Friday, February 27th to Sunday, April 12th. Then you can seek out Florian and Ogerpon in this featured sync pair scout from Friday, February 27th to Wednesday, April 8th. And finally, don't miss out on Juliana and Terapagos appearing in their featured sync pair scout from Sunday, March 1st at 10 to Wednesday, April 8th till 10:59 Pacific time. Photo missions will be also available. You can obtain a special 30-year celebration photo frame and title, as well as additional rewards. For more information on EX Master Sync pairs and EX Master Fairs, check the in-game news. So a lot of stuff going on with Masters EX. I believe this is a phone game as well, so I'm not too sure. Haven't heard of it, but I did see the little video intro of Red and Pikachu coming in, so it made me intrigued. I want to learn more about Pokemon Masters EX and what that's all about. Any thoughts from you, Ashley, on Pokemon Masters?
I've heard of this for at least a few years, but I've never actually tried it. But if they were going to have some cool things like seeing Florian and Juliana with Terapagos and Ogerpon, I might have to give it a go and see what it's all about. And report back to you who I feel like I have a little bit more time to expand in the Pokemon games, whereas you don't have as much time. So I'll take one for the team and
Yeah,
let you know how that goes.
soon in a couple years, I can blend it in with me just spending quality time with my youngest daughter. I'm like, oh, she wants to play Pokemon Masters EX, so I'll play it too, so we can spend some time together and all that kind of stuff. But until that time, yes, I don't have the availability for that. But it seems pretty cool. Wondering what the game's all about. It's so cool to see all these different types of games, though, that people can just enjoy Pokemon in different ways. Because here's another one that I have not tried out yet, but I know about this game. It's Pokemon Sleep. Definitely, if I could catch Pokemon while I'm sleeping, you would think I'd be playing this a lot more often. But I don't sleep with my phone on me and things like that, so don't know how that works. But Mew research begins tonight. Well, that was Friday for Pokemon Sleep, and you can watch the introduction. You watch the video so you can see how Mew checks out. I mean, look how cute Mew is sleeping there besides you with Riolu just looking out and saying, Mew, get out of here. I don't like psychics. I'm weak to psychic. So
that's a good thought.
yeah. So definitely that's cool. I've seen that they've been releasing a lot of new Pokemon for Sleep. So for those of you that play it, very exciting. Hopefully you get to complete the research, get your Mew in Sleep, and complete your Pokédex. It'd be pretty cool.
Whenever it first came out, I had it on like every single night. I was going pretty hard on it. And then whenever my job messed up my sleep schedule, there was no way to get it back. And I kind of stopped playing it. But now that we're going to have a Mew, I might have to open it up just so I can get a Mew.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be pretty cool. So Pokemon Cafe Remix. Now this one I have heard. My daughters used to play this when it first came out. They sadly outgrew it very quickly, but it seemed super cool when I was watching them play it. Pokemon with fresh new outfits are coming to Pokemon Cafe Remix. It helps celebrate 30 years of Pokemon. You can add 3 Pokemon first discovered in Kanto region to your game, and you can look out for more Pokemon and chef outfits coming soon. So spice up your cafe with customization decorations too. So pretty cool for the Pokemon Cafe Remix. That's on Google Play and the App Store. And that was pretty much it for the news from Pokemon Day. So any final thoughts on this one, Ashley? What were you most excited to hear about, and what caught you by surprise?
I think the thing that I was most excited about was to hear about Gen 10, because I remember whenever they first announced Gen 9, the Paldea region, it was like going back to Kanto roots, and it ignited my love and passion for Pokemon again, and I felt like a kid again. So I think that was the thing that I was the most excited about. The starters are a little bit, kind of give like a little bit different vibes than we're used to, I feel like, but at the same time, like, they still do look like Pokemon, and I'm excited to see their evolutions. And if if they continue with the going to 2 legs on some of the Pokemon, like everybody's dreading that part, but I'm excited to see what their evolutions will be, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I mean, the game is called Pokemon Winds and Waves. I expect to be like a little bit of a surfer, laid back vibe, right? And that's exactly what I get from these new partner Pokemon that we see from Gen 10, which is like, like the Pombon, I believe that's the name, right? So like the fire type partner Pokemon there. It's just like, hey, look at me. I'm light, I'm fluffy. I'm a little bit orange reddish. Wouldn't you like to pet me and take me on a surf tour and stuff like that? So I see that. Maybe Brout needs to take a chill pill and get on a surfboard or something like that. Very angry eyebrows from that bird.
He's just like,
yeah, just like super like upset. Like, hey, all my cousins are on Angry Birds and I didn't get picked. So now I'm in this Pokemon game. I don't know, maybe, but hey, hopefully it'd be pretty cool to see what they evolve into and all that kind of stuff. But
yes.
I enjoy them. I think they look cool no matter what. And so super excited to see what comes out of that. So I think for me, the thing that I was most excited about was I was excited about the TCG because like I'm a big collector of the cards. I like to collect them. I like to see all the new arts and stuff like that. Maybe I don't get to buy the product as much as I would like to, but still, like when I open a pack and I see these new arts and stuff like that, it really gets me excited. to kind of collect them and see what else we can do with them. And so knowing that we're going to do a simultaneous release with Japan is super exciting to me, because I'm like, oh, this is cool, because we usually get spoiled from Japan getting it first, and then we see everything. We're like, oh, okay, that's gonna be super cool. Can't wait for that to come out. But now it's like we're gonna be all surprised together. Well, maybe we'll get some leaks. People will know what some of the cards are out there, but um, being able to explore that set worldwide with everybody, I think is gonna be super cool, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm kind of excited for. So now moving on, let's go to our professor's lounge, right? We're going to go ahead and talk about something that I think me and Ashley get a lot of questions about when we're at tournaments or we're at our league. And now that we have a lot of Pokemon that do status conditions, like Monkey Dory's attack of Mind Bend and puts you in confusion. There's Petrant, who can make you poisoned. And there's a bunch of other attacks out there that can make you have a status condition and stuff like that. It's like, well, how does that work? And I think the release of Frostlass, and when it got super popular with Marty's Grimmsnarl, made people realize, oh, there's an in-between turns section here that we're supposed to be doing stuff with, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about our status conditions and Pokemon checkup. So I'm going to share with you right now the rule book of that's for the Pokemon TCG, and specifically we're going to talk about, I'm going to resize all of this here. Oh boy, give me a second, let me fix this, because now I'm looking at this with you guys and it looks really bad.
That's all right.
View is scrolling. Let me go ahead and enhance.
There you go. That looks pretty good.
All right. How do I get this thing out of here? Go away.
Maybe
all right, whatever.
Click. I don't know. Maybe click the three lines. Maybe.
Oh.
No.
All tools. Whatever. Okay. Well, we'll just keep it here and see what happens. If you know how to make Adobe not give me all these stupid tool tips and have a better way to view this, reach out to us on all of our socials at TM Talk Podcast, or you can email us at tmtalkpodcast@gmail.com. You can say, hey, Tommy, you dummy, this is how you take care of that stupid menu on the left there with Adobe. But hopefully you don't call me a dummy. That's not very nice. But definitely help me out with that, and definitely tell us what you guys were excited about with Pokemon Presents, if you guys heard that, or maybe the first time we talked about it was the first time you heard about it, and make sure you want to dive into more about that too. So definitely give us that feedback, let us know what you like, all that kind of fun stuff. So Pokemon Checkup is a special step that happens between turns. So when you end your turn is your attack phase, right? You attack, you do your damage, you assess for knockouts, you take your prize cards, and then we have Pokemon Checkup before we go to your opponent's turn. So before the game continues to the next player, you'll need to take care of special conditions in this order: poisoned, burned, asleep, and paralyzed. So that is the order of operations for your special conditions too. So it's not just whenever you want to, but there's actually, if you're affected by multiple special conditions, you have to go in that order to assess those. So you also need to apply the effects of any abilities or trainer cards or anything else that a card states must happen during Pokemon Checkup. For example, like I was just mentioning, Frostlass, that is out from Twilight Masquerade. The ability states during Pokemon Checkup, any Pokemon with ability will get 2 damage counters except any Frostlass. So any Pokemon out in play, yours and your opponents will receive 2 damage counters from Frostlass during the Pokemon Checkup time. So this is very important, because we have to kind of look at how this plays into other play styles. Like, so if a knockout occurs during Pokemon Checkup, there's a lot of Pokemon that say, if your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may XYZ. Pheasantipity EX is a great example, right? Because it says if your Pokemon was knocked out on your opponent's last turn, draw 3 extra prize cards. Well, if you are knocked out from anything that happens during Pokemon Checkup, that is not during your opponent's last turn. That's during Pokemon Checkup. And so, therefore, Pheasantipity cannot flip the script for you at that instance if you just had a Pokemon die during Pokemon Checkup. So, it's very important that you realize that those damage counters happen in a separate state than your opponent's turn and things like that. So you could check special conditions and then other effects, or you can check other effects and then special conditions, but you can't mix them up. For example, you can't add poison damage, then apply an ability, then flip for sleep. So you're going to go do all the status conditions, and then you're going to do all the abilities that happen in Pokemon Checkup. Then you assess for knockout and things like that. So while you're checking for special conditions, once again, you go through poison, burn, asleep, paralyzed, and then you can do abilities, or you can do abilities and then all the status conditions. And then once you did calculate all of those damages and damage counters that happened during that time, then you kind of look, okay, does anybody get knocked out this turn? Does anybody get knocked out during Pokemon Checkup? Do those knockouts, take those prize cards, move on to the next player's turn. So after both players have gone through these checks, any Pokemon that have no HP remaining is knocked out. The player moves a new Pokemon into the active spot, and the opponent takes a prize card. Then start the next player's turn. So yes, if your active Pokemon gets knocked out, you have to move up and then start your turn. So what are special conditions, right? We talked about poison, burned, asleep, paralyzed. In the Pokemon TCG game, you can be affected by 3 special conditions at one time. So we'll talk about it here in special conditions. So special attacks make the active Pokemon asleep, burned, confused, paralyzed, or poisoned. These are called special conditions. They can only happen to an active Pokemon when a Pokemon goes to the bench. It recovers from all special conditions. Pokemon also recover when they evolve. So if you make a Dreepy confused, and on the next turn your opponent evolves that into a Cloak, it is no longer confused. If they can move the Pokemon to the bench and then move it back to the active, the status condition is gone as well. So switch cards, free retreats, things like that can take away those special conditions. So the reason why you assess poison, and I'll come up here again, poisoned, burned, asleep, and paralyzed during Pokemon Checkup is because poisoned, you add 10 damage if you're poisoned. Burned, you add 20 damage, and then you flip a coin. If it is heads, you are no longer burned for your turn. Asleep, once again, you flip a coin. If heads, you're no longer asleep, and you will then be able to continue your turn. And paralyzed, then you cannot do anything, not even retreat. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So it's, whoopsie, stupid Adobe. All right, asleep. So turn the Pokemon counterclockwise to show that it is asleep. So that is, if you're thinking about it as you're facing it, that's going to go to your left, right? So the way you can remember that is that asleep is the only special condition that has an L in it. So asleep, L, left, right? So your Pokemon should be facing, if you set up your board at a right-handed state where you have your deck on the right, your Pokemon should be facing your prize cards to the left. All right. If a Pokemon is asleep, it cannot attack or retreat. During Pokemon Checkup, flip a coin. If you flip heads, the Pokemon recovers. Turn the card right side up. But if you flip tails, it stays asleep. All right. So if your Pokemon is asleep, you cannot attack or retreat. Okay. So that's definitely something that takes into effect. So definitely I'm hoping that you're flipping those heads during Pokemon Checkup so you don't have to deal with that, because that is very annoying. So now we're going to move on to burned. When a Pokemon is burned, put a burn marker on it during Pokemon Checkup. Place 2 damage counters on your burned Pokemon, and then flip a coin. If heads, the Pokemon recovers, and you remove the burn marker. But whenever you first get burned, your first thing you do is you put the damage counters on first, then you flip. And then if you hit heads, you can remove that damage, that burn marker on your Pokemon. So your Pokemon stays right side up. We have a burn marker and a poison marker with our TCG. You get those and then those ETB packs. If you come to League, definitely a very helpful professor will probably give you some dice and some burn and poison markers, so you can have those in your arsenal when you play TCG. And it is also part of the game that you must have these markers for your opponent, so that if you are going to burn or poison your opponent, you have those markers so they can put it on. Of course, that means everybody should have it, so therefore you can always put it on your own Pokemon and don't have to worry about putting it on your opponent's Pokemon and things like that. A Pokemon cannot have two burn markers. If an attack gives it another burn marker, the new burned condition simply replaces the old one. Make sure your burn markers look different from your damage counters. Okay, so you can use something different than this burn marker here, but you need to make sure it looks different than damage counters and things like that. But why use something different when this cool fire logo is here to tell you, hey, your Pokemon's on fire, stop, drop, and roll a heads, and then you can stop being burned, right?
Or you can call in the Squirtle Squad and put out the fire.
That's right. But that is not part of the TCG game. I'm sorry. You cannot bring in the Squirrel Squad and to get that burned off of you. So confused. So to be confused, you turn that Pokemon with the top of the card pointing towards you, showing that it's confused. All right, so it's pointing, yes, towards you. I was going to say down, but I'm like, you're
upside down.
Yeah, you're laying flat on a table. It's not really down, right? If your Pokemon is confused, you must flip a coin before attacking with it. If heads, the attack works normally. If tails, the attack doesn't happen, and you place 3 damage counters on your confused Pokemon. Now, another thing you need to remember about this is that if you decide to attack with a confused Pokemon, you will declare the attack and say, hey, like with this Pokemon here, I believe that attack is run, maybe. I don't know, it's very, very far away. Man, let me enhance this. Enhance.
You should have just scrolled up.
No, it's bite.
Bite.
I will not scroll up, but yeah. So it's bite. So you're gonna say, hey, I'm going to use bite. You will roll your dice. If heads, bite will hit for 50, and of course you have to have the energies to attack for that attack, of course. So 2 colors energies attached to this Pokemon. If you roll heads, you'll get to do 50 damage. If you roll tails, you will do 30 damage to yourself. So Gumshoe, you will bite yourself for 30 damage. All right. So let me go ahead and de-enhance, and we'll move back one more.
So one more question for those of you who may not know.
Oh, send it.
If you attack while you're confused and you hit heads, are you still confused?
You are still confused. The only way to get rid of confusion is to either evolve, if your Pokemon can evolve, or to move that Pokemon back to the bench, right? So with those retreat options and things like that. And if you are confused, you can still retreat. So if you have the amount of energies attached to your Pokemon that you need to retreat, you can still do that. Retreat, move it to the bench. Now it is no longer confused, but you are down the energy you needed to retreat for that, unless you have like Air Balloon or another card or effect that allows you to retreat for free. Yeah, good call out, Ashley. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Professor Tommy, for explaining that for our players.
Of course. Paralyze. So you're going to turn a paralyzed Pokemon clockwise to show that it's paralyzed. So now you're going to be facing to the right. So paralyzed, you're going to the right. If a Pokemon is paralyzed, it cannot attack or retreat. After its owner's next turn, it recovers during Pokemon checkup. So you will be paralyzed for 1 turn. So like let's say, okay, your opponent doesn't attack that paralyzes you. You're not paralyzed. It'll go to your turn. You cannot attack or retreat with that Pokemon. If you don't have a way that you can retreat it with an ability or a card, then it stays there. Now you get to be at the next Pokemon checkup. So before your opponent's turn, you will then turn it right side up, and then it will go to your opponent. So now if they have the same Pokemon up front and they paralyze you again, then you're just paralyzed again. So there's no dice rolling for paralyzed as we have with a sleep, but you can see a sleep and paralyzed do the same thing, where you cannot attack or retreat. However, asleep, you get to roll the dice. If heads, hey, I am now awake and I can do my turn as normal. Paralyzed, you just have to suck it up for that whole turn. All right. Moving on to poisoned. So when a Pokemon is poisoned, put a poison marker on it during Pokemon checkup. Place a damage counter on your poison Pokemon. A Pokemon cannot have two poison markers. If an attack gives it another poison marker, the new poison condition simply replaces the old one. Make sure your poison markers look different from your damage counter. So if you see here, there's no roll either to remove poison. So you will be poisoned until you can get that Pokemon out of the active spot, or you evolve it, or it ultimately faints. So that's how you can, that's how poison would work. So now removing special conditions. When a Pokemon evolves or moves to the bench, it recovers from all special conditions. The only special condition that prevent Pokemon from retreating are sleep and paralyzed. Since asleep, confused, and paralyzed all rotate the Pokemon card, whichever one happened last to the Pokemon is the only one that is still in effect. Since poisoned and burned are used markers, those don't affect other special conditions. And unfortunately, Pokemon can be burned, paralyzed, and poisoned all at the same time. So if you are affected by any special condition that involves you rotating your card, whichever one happened last is how you will rotate that card. And if they somehow burn and poison you at the same time, both those markers are on that Pokemon. So that poor guy, that poor Pokemon you have in front, it just suffering a whole bunch. And so you better have a great card in your hand to help that Pokemon or get it to the bench as soon as possible to remove all those effects. We don't want to have our Snorlax feeling that those effects. Other effects, if an effect of an ability or trainer card says it happens during Pokemon checkup, apply it as part of this step. For example, Snorlax's lazy eating ability says to heal 10 damage from it between turns. This would occur during Pokemon checkup. So, and really the order, if you do abilities or markers first or last, is up to that person and for their Pokemon. So let's say Snorlax is poisoned, right? So then you can decide, okay, I want to do his lazy eating ability first. I will heal 10 damage, and then poison, I will put 10 damage on. Or you can say, okay, lazy eating heals 10 damage from me. I will go ahead and do poison first, put 10, and then do lazy eating, taking the 10 damage off and healing that from yourself. So that the order of operation is up to you as a person when you assess your Pokemon. So be sure that if you have abilities that happen in Pokemon checkup or between turns, that you are keeping that into account. But like I said, you cannot mix and match. You can't poison, then ability, then sleep, then ability, so on and so forth, right? It's all of one and then the other. And that is it for special conditions and Pokemon checkup. Ashley, you have any closing thoughts on that?
I think we pretty much covered everything, and I mean, I even gave the one extra question, so I think we were pretty solid on that. But yeah, that is something that we get a lot in League, and we actually got one at the challenge the other day that we had, which is kind of why we decided to bring this up. We have a new player that was kind of confused on one of these special conditions, and we had another player explain it to them. They did a fantastic job, so congratulations to you. And then I just kind of added on to it just a little bit. But the special conditions, it's not something that we see a ton in the Pokemon TCG, but I feel like recently we've seen a lot more of it, especially with like Monkey Dory's confusion, and then with Absolbox, with the Petraron, you can poison your own Pokemon, and then the Frostlass. I think we started seeing a lot more of these special conditions lately, so it's always good if you haven't reviewed them in a while to also go back and review them, just so you don't forget how to handle each one of these situations.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And this is in the TCG rulebook. I don't know if they still come in ETBs anymore, but they used to in the Sword and Shield era. They used to come into the ETB. You have a little rulebook, you can pull it out, and then it has all this stuff in there for you. This is just a digitalized copy on Pokemon.com underneath the Rules and Resources tab. Go down there to Pokemon TCG, and you'll see the Pokemon TCG rulebook there, and you can get this and read about all of it. There's 44 pages of rules and regulations there for the TCG, just to let you know how to play the game, what the mechanics are, things like that. So definitely it's a great read to understand all the different aspects of the game. And this is part of that inferred knowledge. It is inferred when you play in a TCG game that both players have read this rule book and understand all the rules and regulations about it. So if there's something that you're still a little fuzzy on, definitely pull this up and read it for yourself, because it's the way you play the game, right? And so that way you can avoid judge calls, you can avoid missing some ways, sneaky plays and sneaky ways to win, get those win conditions and be the best Pokemon trainer you can ever be. All right. So if you guys like that, if you have more questions about anything about the Pokemon TCG or any of the Pokemon games, definitely, once again, reach out to us. Let us know so we can go ahead and pull that up and talk about it on our next Professor's Lounge. All right. Ashley, are you ready to guess the TM?
I am ready.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I was just trying to think of where my hat was. I was going to put it on and turn it back where it's like Ash does.
Yeah.
Whenever he's ready to get going. Oh, I see it. Hold on. I got this, guys.
All right. She has to get in the mode, in the set. Here we go. This is where the Game Boy jukebox will come into play, because then you can just start playing do 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 do. So, all right, here we go. We're gonna play Guess the TM. For those of you who have not seen us play it before, or just to kind of just go over the rules. First and foremost, what's going to happen here is that it is Ashley's turn to guess. So I am going to read her the TM number and then the description of the TM, and she's going to try to guess what TM it is. She has a couple lifelines. I'll tell her the effectiveness and the stats of the move. So if it can, like, what's the damage? We'll say damage amount, the accuracy, things like that. And then finally, I can, if she still needs some assistance, I can go ahead and give her some Pokemon that can learn this move to help her try to guess this. Of course, if she exhausts all her lifelines and is not able to guess it, then we stay tied. If not, then Ashley can pull ahead by 1 point and be ahead of me in the Guess a TM game. So, with that being said, Ashley, today you're going to be guessing TM 41.
TM 41. Okay.
TM 41, and according to Fire Red and Leaf Green, this move heals the user by up to half of its full HP. It can be used to heal an ally.
Can be used to heal an ally. Oh. When you said healing, I was like, okay, I have an idea. But then you said ally, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this one. Hold on.
So I was in Fire Red, Leaf Green, I believe, in the original games. Oh, actually, this is a Pokemon Stadium. Oh, I can see what games they actually use this in. Hold on. This is pretty... Okay, I'm always learning new stuff on this website that I've got here. Okay. That is the most... Yeah, Fire Red, Leaf Green is probably the most OG game that I can give you the details from. It makes the most sense.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of what would heal your ally. Because the only healing move that I can think of, like the very first one that I could think of, was Giga Drain. But that heals yourself. It doesn't heal your ally. So I'm going to guess that, even though I know it's not correct.
Right.
So we can move on to my next hint.
Okay. So it is not Giga Drain. It's not Giga Drain. So let me see this here 1 second. I gotta get you I'll give you the type as well. So it's a normal type move.
Okay. I was thinking it was going to be a normal type.
It's a normal type move. The PP of it is 5. It has no power and no accuracy because it does not do any damage. It is just for healing.
It's just a healing.
Mm-hmm. And you can use it outside of battle as well.
Outside of battle.
Because you can heal your allies. So it's like a cheat code for, you don't need heals. You have this move. You have this TM.
This one might be a little difficult today. I think we may end up being tied.
It's a tough one.
I'm still thinking. I know, I can't think of it. You gonna give me some help? Oh, I don't know. I can't think of any other normal type moves besides like metronome, but that doesn't even heal. All right, I'm gonna ask for another lifeline.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about what Pokemon can learn this move. They can learn it by leveling up. In the original 151 Pokemon in Kanto region, Chansey can learn this move.
I had a feeling it was going to be that.
I really thought that you would get it from that. See, I'm giving you too much hints. Okay, so Chansey can learn it.
See, I can think of like everything that has to deal with this move except its name.
Oh.
Because the other one that I can think of that heals, but it's just yourself as rest, but that puts you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this so hard? I know once you say what the name is, I'm probably gonna kick myself in my butt.
I will agree with you. You probably will.
Chansey is the only Pokemon that knows this move, though.
Correct.
Well,
in the original, we're talking about Gen 1. That's the only Gen 1 Pokemon that can learn this move by leveling up.
I don't think I'm gonna get it.
Do you have one final guess?
This one does damage, so it's not gonna matter. Soft boiled is the only other thing that I could think of.
Is that your final answer?
That's gonna be my final answer.
Ashley, at the final hours, you have gotten the answer correct.
It is my gosh, is that really it? Oh,
it's soft boiled.
I was thinking that like 2 hints ago, and I was like, he's gonna say Chansey, and the thing I'm gonna think about is soft boiled. But see, I thought it did damage, so I guess I was wrong. Nope. Okay.
It does not do damage. Soft boiled does not do damage. All it does is heal half of your HP. And fun fact for you, if you want to know this,
I would love to.
In Gen 1, it will fail if the user's current HP is already equal to its maximum HP. And in the handheld games in Gen 1, Soft Boil will also fail if the difference between the user's maximum HP and current HP is 255.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you are more than halfway, if you have 256 HP, it's gonna be, and you're at 1, it's gonna be like, what? No, I can't do that, fam.
Don't use that.
Yeah, you're hard boiled. I can't do soft boiled for you.
You're hard boiled.
But yeah, great guess. I mean, like I said, like when I talked to you before we recorded, right? I said, hey, I can't read this description because then you're gonna know it right away, right? Mm-hmm. So the description, it says TM41 in Gen 1 and in Gen 2 and from Gen 4 onwards, it's a signature move of Chansey and Blissey. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, it is also the signature move of Happiny.
Mm-hmm.
So
the baby evolution.
Soft boiled. Definitely, like the only move I can think of Chansey ever using is soft boiled, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'd never use it for anything else, but that's pretty great guess. Great job.
Thank you. Oh, that was hard. I
Once
guess I
again,
should just believe in my abilities.
you should. You turned your hat backwards for a reason. You had this. You're on lock.
I locked in, guys.
That's right. That's right. So congratulations, Ashley. So now you are 2-1. I will have to try for next time to just keep it a tie at 2-2. And I got to see if I can find something for you to slip up on some of these TMs here. So,
oh, and by the way, I still have not reviewed any of these. This is literally just going off of all of my past knowledge, guys.
off the dome piece. That's freaking wild. It's good. Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad. I like the competition. It makes this fun. I think this is a fun game to do. Definitely, if we ever move past Gen 1, I'm gonna be in a world of hurt because I've never played anything else.
We should,
except for
I think if we move past Gen 1, we should do something that neither one of us has done.
Yeah.
I don't think I played Diamond and Pearl, or I didn't play Black and White.
Okay.
I barely played Sword and Shield. So the very first 3 gens and then Gen 9 are the ones that I've played the most. Anything in between that is kind of iffy.
Iffy? Okay. Cool. Yeah, we can still do that. All right. Sounds good. Well, congratulations, Ashley. Hope you all enjoyed this episode of TM Talk. We did cover a lot of stuff going on, especially with Pokemon Day and new news going around the world on Pokemon. So looking forward to all these exciting things that we have coming up from Pokemon Company, and excited to see more details about this new TCG set and all the new exciting stuff that we have left to discover and experience during this 30th year anniversary of Pokemon. So super cool. I am excited to do with you all. So if you have any ideas, thoughts, questions, concerns, anything you guys didn't like, or want to hear more about, please reach out to us at all the socials at TM Talk Podcast. You can reach out to us on Facebook, TM Talk Podcast. And of course, like I said, on email again at tmtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Any parting words for our people here, Ashley?
Thank you for always giving us your support. I know we've kind of been a little bit slower on uploading lately. But we've also been trying to revamp this podcast and make it a little more interactive. I'm hoping. We're both planning on going to Houston. We've been talking about some stuff that we may end up doing in Houston, so be on the lookout for that. And if you are attending Houston, let us know and what deck choice you're planning on bringing. And if you plan on bringing the same 60 as us, or at least the same deck, and if not, what deck you're going to bring. So we'll definitely have to see what everybody's thoughts are about that.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be fun. Maybe we'll have an Absol army that we can go out there with and represent. Army.
Yeah. We should get a shirt made, Absol Army.
Yeah. Oh, man, that'd be sick. That'd be fun. So yes, for sure. Thank you, Ashley, for that. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all next time.
We'll see you in the next episode.
You just used TM Talk. I hope it was super effective for you. Whether you're building a deck or building a league, remember, you've got this and we've got your back.
If today's episode boosted your stats, share it with your party. And until next time, keep training, keep teaching, and keep passing that knowledge on.